Good afternoon and welcome to live knockout European women's football. There will be a new name on the Champions League trophy this spring. 5 years running, the cup has belonged to Lyon. They are for once not in contention this time around. It's a fab Final Four. PSG and Barcelona have already met, and here it is Bayern versus Chelsea, two of the women's game's biggest names, neither of whom have ever been beyond this point. Chelsea at this stage, thanks to victory over their nemesis Wolfsburg in the quarter-final. Kerr got the opening goal in the first leg before everyone was caught napping by the former Wolf, Pernille Harder, making it 2. It got a little tighter thanks to the Janssen penalty late on. And Katrin Berger made some excellent stops and has saved many a penalty this term, but couldn't stop that one. Janssen scoring a crucial away goal, or so we thought, but Harder did likewise from 12 yards out in the return game. And then it was over to Kerr, a wonderful take and turn and finish to put Chelsea in complete control, even with an hour of the tie still to be played. And it got even better. And Fran Kirby did that late on. Bayern had it rather more comfortable. If there is a slight favourite, it's probably Chelsea, but only just. Emma Hayes and her various players over these last few years have achieved so much and won so much, but they've never been beyond this point in this competition. Is this their year? Will it be third time lucky when it comes to semi-final time in this wonderful competition? Well, the Blues managed to get that Wolfsburg monkey off their backs this term. Bayern have themselves emerged from the shadow of Wolfsburg to lead the way in Germany this term. This is a great-looking tie between two clubs who want this so much. Neither has ever made the final before. Sam Parkin is with me. What an occasion, Sam.
Yeah, huge afternoon for the club. We've been across the journey, I suppose, the last 5 years or so, and suffered so many disappointments at the hands normally of the German clubs, and I think that was a monumental victory over Wolfsburg in the last round. Will give them such motivation and belief that they can go one better, make it into a final, but likewise Bayern Munich will be really hungry, having not been at that stage either. So it's another big test, but yeah, having conquered Wolfsburg last time out, there's no reason why they can't do it again.
Swedish officials headed up by Sara Persson. Huge week already for both of these clubs, going well on all fronts. Chelsea had one hand on the WSL trophy in midweek, couldn't cling on for victory over Manchester City that would have ensured the title was retained. Here's the team news today. A lot changed since they last met 4 years ago. Lauder and Berenstein remain for Bayern. Schuller, their top scorer, doesn't start, interestingly. 3 changes from their latest league win, with Ilestedt returning to defence, Bull to midfield, and perhaps crucially, the first choice keeper, Benkart, is back fit just in time. We're expecting the skipper McGull to play a further forward role this afternoon. Well, for Chelsea, Magda Eriksson, the skipper, travelled but won't feature. Jess Carter keeps her place at right back. Erin Cuthbert makes way for Guro Wrighton on the left. That's the only change from the Manchester City draw. And look out for the Chelsea front three. Harder, Kirby and Kerr, not that they always play as an out-and-out front three, but they have scored 60 Chelsea goals between them this season. McGull on the right, Bright on the left, the two captains for this first leg. Chelsea's last 2 entries at this competition have both ended at this stage. The last was the semi-final to the winners, Lyon, in 2019, when Bayern also went out, that being their only semi-final appearance previously. Emma Hayes has already won 1 domestic cup, another run is ongoing. Still 2 points clear in the WSL with a couple of games to play. You suspect, for many of those involved, maybe including her, not that she'd admit it, not overly publicly anyway, but this is the one she would want the most. England, Germany, France and Spain, all represented in Europe's Final Four this term. All four clubs have been to the semi-final before. None have ever won the competition. It does feel so close to call, so exciting for all concerned. Jens Scheuer is the Bayern coach. I wonder if he even noticed that Wolfsburg won this afternoon. Bayern's lead at the top cut from 5 points to 2 points. And that's not really going to be on their minds right now. Their last game was on Wednesday as well. They came from behind to beat Turbine Potsdam to keep that position. 3-2 winners, top of the league. Bayern kick off then, the home team in this first leg. Back-to-back Sunday afternoon meetings between the league leaders of England and Germany. One of them's going to Gothenburg next month. Solid 50-50s all over the park in the early seconds. Bayern's 7th crack at this competition. One previous semi-final. And a reunion for many of them, with Melanie Leupolz, who'll be anchoring the Chelsea midfield. 6 years. She did the same job for Bayern. Indeed, she played when Chelsea knocked them out 4 years ago. That was a thrilling tie, Sam, that we watched together. Away goals in the end did it, or an away goal. 2-2 it was, with a late Bayern flurry that nearly turned it around.
Yeah, it was a really good evening, wasn't it? Fran Kirby getting the all-important away goal. A few nails bitten towards the death, though. Bayern getting a couple of late goals, but this feels like a very different Bayern Munich. It feels like one that's really on the road to great success. Obviously, domestically, doing much better in comparison to where they have been, because Wolfsburg have been so dominant. So close that gap, obviously going really well, and in this competition, like Chelsea, wanting to make it to the final for the maiden time. So this is a tough test, real tough test, but the squad is laden with superstars now at Chelsea.
Sophie Ingle, an experienced and able deputy for club captain missing Magda Eriksson, injured late on in an FA Cup win a week or so ago. Did travel, hasn't even made the Chelsea bench though. I presumes Emma Hayes was more interested in having her involved in the group. Sam, if she wasn't going to be able to play, you still want your club captain on board.
Oh, definitely, because she played such a huge role to get to this stage. But yeah, I mean, bitter pill to swallow for her, really, given that the game was won against the Lionesses in the FA Cup. Obviously, Emma Hayes had started to rotate the side and given a breather to the majority of the first team. Unfortunately, she was one of the few players that remained and got the injury, which is meant missing 2 of the most important games in the club's history.
Nice ball to start that off from G, the long-serving G. And on the ball here, Laura Benka, current German international keeper, and has missed the last 2 games. She picked up an injury against Wolfsburg in the Cup. 19-year-old Maria Gross has played their last 2 Bundesliga matches. What a baptism at European level this would have been for her. Bayern pleased to have their regular number 1 back between the sticks as Ingle is forced into a little bit of hurried defending. Clara Bull, dangerous and in form. Clipped forward by Ellis, stepped too much on it for her fellow Swede class, who is at right back. And Katrin Berger been sensational in Europe and domestically, and the save she made in midweek against Manchester City, well, you'll do well to see anything better at any level, anywhere. Jonna Andersson, very much the first choice left back. Little clip on Pernille Harder. Has had heartache in this competition. Chelsea might not have been to finals, but she has lost them to Lyon. 5 years in a row, Lyon have won this competition, but not now. Losing out to Paris Saint-Germain. Met Barcelona in the first leg earlier. Kirby on the charge. Illerstedt, one of those back in the side with the defending. That first semi-final nearing its conclusion. 1-1 between PSG, who knocked out Lyon on away goals last weekend. That was the final quarter-final to be concluded. The others happened before, but quarantining issues in France stopped the all-French second leg of that last 8 tie, concluding when it was supposed to. Bayern relatively straightforward in the last 8. 4-0 winners over Rosengård. Coming across there is Heggering at the back. Sam Kerr is a forward in form that Bayern will have to watch. Sensational first Chelsea season, 24 goals in all competitions. She didn't really get going till a good few weeks into it. Clara Bull wanted that ball played a little bit earlier. By the time it was, the moment was gone.
Yeah, just a breakdown in communication there. Berenstein's head goes down to play the pass into the channel. Bull has actually checked her run, looking for it into feet. A little bit of a let-off because they broke with pace there for the first time. Chelsea with good rotation amongst the front players. Always notice Sam Kerr likes to pull out wide into that right-hand channel. Means that Fran Kirby naturally comes infield. Don't have great width with the forward players. I think that will be supplied by Carter and Andersson bombing forward. It's kind of two wingers who like to play infield and get involved in the build-up. So big onus on the fullbacks to supply that width.
Bernstein with the flick on. Highly experienced Dutch international Millie Bright, highly experienced England international on the cover for Chelsea, with the captain's armband in the absence of Magda Eriksson. Bernstein, really nicely done. Hard work from Harder, Bayern ball. It's Caroline Simon with the throw. It comes to nothing. Bright, who's got that pass very much in her locker. It's only just too much on it, looking for Sam Kerr. An away goal will be a big deal, of course. It's the home side looking for it here. Berger gets there. Ball probably would have been offside anyway. Chelsea have scored in every game, in all competitions, going back 2 years now. That is 63 matches running. Wolfsburg a couple of years ago and Manchester City in the Cup. They did not score. Wolfsburg certainly created plenty of chances. Weren't quite as lethal with their finishing, otherwise that quarter-final could have been far less comfortable and maybe a losing one for Chelsea. Let's see how much Bayern are allowed. Patient, Kirby coming short. That's an excellent pass. Pernille Harder. Shooting chance here for Brighton. She's better than that.
A really slick move, wasn't it? Spoke about the forward players taking up different positions, not staying set really in the formation. Kirby, Harder, well worked, and the type of play you want in that situation. Very trusty left foot. Expect the technique to be better and bent towards the target, but plenty of reason for optimism given the way they've just played through Bayern Munich. They look fairly well set, the German team, but Fran Kirby's position proved very difficult to pick up, and a couple of slick passes later they get the first shot in anger, really.
Definitely doing more from a slightly deeper and sometimes wider position this season, Fran Kirby, having been the focal point of the attack for many years for Chelsea. Sam Kerr is very much that now, but almost reinvented Fran Kirby, and still not too far behind in the goal-scoring charts either, incidentally. Chelsea's
and her decision maybe to come and take.
There was just a split second where I swear you could almost see her realising she wasn't going to get it, but having committed, she had to then jump. It was beyond her reach. Lohmann, the second top scorer in the league with 9 goals. Couple of penalties in the Champions League this term, but that one is the biggest of the lot for her. And over 2 legs. Mistakes can be fatal. Will that one be for Chelsea? Advantage Bayern. Such a good ball in from Glass, who's forward again here. And now Brazil taking over, and Berenstein with a chance to put one in herself, and thankfully from Chelsea's perspective not nearly as much quality on that cross, but Bayern looking dangerous, especially down the right.
Yeah, it was one of those deliveries, as soon as it left her foot, you knew Chelsea were going to be in trouble just because of the trajectory of it. It was really put in with pace. You're hoping that it doesn't tempt the goalkeeper out. Unfortunately, it's exactly what happened. Still had to be finished, and still Millie Bright nearly came to her rescue, but unfortunately a really costly error. Early part of the game, exactly what Emma Hayes wouldn't have wanted, but plenty of time in the tie to go.
I think by common consent, it will be agreed, Ann-Katrin Berger has had her best season in between the Chelsea posts. That will hurt because she's been so good. G to Lupoltz, the former Bayern midfielder. Kirby couldn't make it stick. McGull is back there, helped on towards Bull. Is that a foul on Zadrazil? It was.
I'm sure immediately, or when Emma Hayes has an opportunity to speak to the players, the collective has to come together now and get the goalkeeper out of a little bit of difficulty, and that's what she'll be saying, because she's been that good this season. Arguably,
and she's got her team out of difficulty.
Yeah.
They've conceded penalties, she saved them.
Arguably the player of the season. So it happens, the mistakes. So plenty of time left to get going. What I will say is Munich are happy to sit in, really. The front two aren't getting after Chelsea. I think they do hold a big threat on the counter-attack. They're playing with an orthodox front two, and Bull's already shown that she's got pace to burn, I think, down the sides. Berenstein as well. Very athletic duo at the top of the pitch. So I think they'll just sit off Chelsea, wait for the balls to be given away and try and explode into life. I think it's Chelsea who are probably going to stop Bayern from playing out a little bit more.
Not sure Lupoltz did a whole lot wrong against her former colleague McGull there. But McGull will take the free kick. That's awkward round the back. Sneaking in was Illerstedt. And surely that's a corner. It's not been given. Well, now it has. And I think that's the right decision, in fairness.
It was a terrific delivery. It's absolutely perfectly positioned at the far post. Tempts the goalkeeper out again, I would suggest. Kerr does really well.
Absolutely gets a touch. And had she not, Illerstedt might have done. The referee, I think, overruling her assistant. Now, let's see what this delivery from this flank does for Bayern. Low, awkward. Not a good corner, but it nearly turned into one in a funny sort of way. Goal kick, Chelsea. Bayern had played one game more than Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg beat Salzburg earlier today, quite comfortably. The lead at the top for Bayern down to 2. Chelsea's last defeat was 14 games ago. A shock defeat against Brighton. They've won all bar 2 since. The draw with Atletico, it didn't really matter because Chelsea were going through anyway, and the 2-2 with Manchester City, that was the top 2 meeting in the English WSL. Wednesday night, all the rest wins. We need another reaction here. McGull, Simon. Couldn't quite make it, the left back. Caroline Simon scored in their semi-final defeat last time they were at this stage. It was a defeat to Pernille Harder's Wolfsburg, and she's on the chase here and very strong to keep that in, right in front of the Bayern coach, Jens Scheuer. Interesting to see no real press there from Chelsea. Happy to drop off. Kirby with her back to goal. Bayern will be happy for her to receive the ball in that position. 60 yards from goal. Nice ball from Sophie Ingle. Wrighton, Anderson, back to Guro Wrighton. Fouled by Zadrazil. Free kick to Chelsea in a promising position, if not necessarily within range.
Yeah, the passing had to be immaculate there because Bayern Munich were well set. But lovely couple of passes, nice and crisp into teammates' feet. That was a lovely return from Anderson. Zadrazil, wrong side of Wrighton. A free kick in a really good position.
Benkart, yes, to really be tested. Having won the free kick, looks like Guro Wrighton's going to take it. Watch the runners from deep for Chelsea here. And now they come as Wrighton looks for the far post. That's a dangerous delivery. That could go anywhere. It's in. 1-1. Scrappy goal. Away goal. And now the advantage is with Chelsea in the tie.
Yeah, another brilliant delivery into such a dangerous area. The marking zonally just across the edge of the box. And it is Leupolz who gets the congratulations of the Chelsea players, but it's a very fortuitous goal. It's headed against her and just loops agonisingly for Bayern Munich right into the corner of the net. Real stroke of luck, but we'll take it.
It's a freakish equaliser. Melanie Leupolz will get the credit for it, even though she knew nothing about it. The X Factor strikes halfway through the first half of this semi-final first leg. It was always going to be entertaining. It already is.
Yeah, the lack of celebration twofold. Embarrassment and because it's her former club. Not one that she'll be telling too many people about in years to come. Real stroke of luck, but great delivery. Seen a couple of fantastic balls into dangerous areas from both sides so far, causing absolute havoc.
Wrighton now back doing the defending, but that left foot of hers, that did deliver an absolute gem of a free kick there. Leupolz scored last weekend, couldn't have been more contrasting. 25-yard, bending into the top corner in the cup for Chelsea. But it doesn't say how, it just says how many. And it's 1-1 here. Glass. Well, he wasn't in front for long, Jens Scheuer. Now, if anything, because of the away goals rule, of course, you'd say they're sort of fractionally behind. Difficult to quantify it, really. Half a goal behind? I don't know. There's the most relieved player out on the pitch right now, I should think. After the rarest of things, a mistake back in Germany for Ann-Kathrin Berger. Didn't play for Bayern. Won the league with Turbine Potsdam. Played in this competition for them. Didn't win it with them, although as a club they did before her arrival. Here's G. Nicely done. Even more nicely done from Wrighton to Harder. That would have been a beautiful goal to go with the lucky one a moment ago.
I mean, they're looking quite compact, Bayern Munich, but that said, Chelsea have been able to play through them a few times in the opening 25 minutes, and that's two sighters Pernille Harder's had in the last 5 minutes or so. The first one, she didn't get hold of at all. This one she does catch, but cuts across the ball. Maybe she'd have just delayed that a fraction, looked at the options. A curling shot towards the far post was probably on there. The technique just let her down, probably because she got slightly excited seeing the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes.
It's quite a cliche, Sam, to talk about good fortune, but in knockout competitions, it really can play a part. I was just thinking to myself there, Atletico Madrid missed 3 out of 3 penalties against Chelsea in the last 16. Wolfsburg missed a lot of chances. Berger made some phenomenal saves in that quarter-final. Equalising goal here, such an odd one. It really can make a difference. You're not talking about a league season over 7 months. We've got a collision here between Berenstein and Pernille Harder. It's going to require some treatment for the latter. I think she's okay. But you know what I mean, Sam? It is the sort of thing that makes you just wonder if it's your year when things like that happen, and they happen in more than one round. It was similar for the Chelsea men in 2012. That wasn't the best Chelsea side that ever went into the Champions League, but it was the only year they won it.
Well, they were definitely outplayed in the final, weren't they? And potentially over the 2 legs of the semi-final. So, yeah, absolutely. You need that luck. And they've had it so far. I thought they were obviously very good in an attacking sense against Wolfsburg, but had to rely on the goalkeeper and a few bad missed chances to make their way to this stage. So, yeah, I think it's been a pretty even start today. I don't think either side deserves to be in front, probably. They're just the set pieces to talk of. Really, neither team caused too many problems in open play.
Berenstein and Harder okay. It's a good defensive header, really, that, and it could have gone anywhere, and it just cannoned straight into the former Bayern player. Here is Harder, straight back into the action. Leupolz to Bright, moving it swiftly. G, so often making herself available to receive that pass, and again there. And just trying to pick up a little bit of space to receive again. That's what it's all about, certainly in the part of the field in which she operates. As is often the case, getting deeper as the years go. She was a proper number 10 when she arrived. Long time ago, one of the original WSL title winners for Emma Hayes' Chelsea side from back in 2015. Kirby, one of the others doing the chasing here. That's a good ball up to Berenstein. G misjudged the bounce. And McGull, that's great footwork. Chance to pull it back. And Bull couldn't quite get anything on it. Sophie Ingle, she might not have got a touch, but she certainly did enough to put Bull off if she didn't get a touch.
Yeah, a couple of occasions there. McGull very nearly in from the Berenstein initial header. I think she made a bit of a hash of that. It was a good forward run from the midfield player. And as you said, Ben, good quick feet. Sophie Ingle on the spot to make a really telling contribution. What's more, nearly half an hour in, there's been not too much from Bayern Munich to be concerned about in open play. They marshalled them pretty well. That threat from the 2 front players, I think, is obvious if the game gets a bit open, but unable to cut Chelsea open in the opening half hour.
G a bit short on that pass for Kirby, cut out by Zadrazil, but forward it goes now, and it's a great-looking ball. Sam Kerr, fantastic block. You see a good bit of defending at one end from Ingle. That was even better as the other, Chelsea's top scorer, just about to pull the trigger. Sure, it would have been a shot on target, and Hegering's challenge was magnificent. Needed to be perfectly timed, and it was.
I tell you, Ben, that is unbelievable movement from Sam Kerr. I'm watching her pulling in that little space. The fullback's too wide. There's a lovely little bit of space on the shoulder of the centre-half, and Sam Kerr just makes the passer's mind up. It's brilliant movement to get in, and then, unfortunately, just hesitated a fraction. She's done the hard part, just had to get the strike away. As you said, Hegering makes a great covering challenge, and yeah, that's Sam Kerr really in a nutshell, isn't it? Fantastic movement, gets so many chances because it's that good.
Berenstein has picked up a bit of space, tight angle, went for the drive anyway. Jonna Anderson in the way, and Bayern have another corner. It's a good watch this. Half an hour has passed at least. 2.5 hours of this tie still to go. And every chance there'll be many twists and turns in that time. Simon, the left back, over to deliver an in-swinger. Keeper is the call as the bodies tumble in the Chelsea box. Clara Bull wins the first header. Jess Carter got hold of that clearance. Was there a fraction early she could have taken it? Yeah, I see what you're saying. But the way she's been finishing, every chance that was going to be on target and probably a goal. What a debut season. And ever present in the league. Both her and fellow new signing Pernille Harder have managed that feat, the only two. Started almost all of them. Goals in every competition. 11 goals in her last 7 matches. Here's Harder. Excellent covering from Magul. Tight from Sophie Ingle. Kerr's done well to win that. And the Bayern bench and Bayern players not impressed with that challenge from Pernille Harder. The referee was right there. And Harder is being cautioned for it. Simone Lauder, who's on the receiving end of it. First caution of this semi-final. I doubt it'll be the last somehow. Pernille Harder will have to behave herself in that engine room. Hopeful ball forward that from Ilestedt. Didn't really have a target in mind. Brilliantly done, Sophie Ingle. Makes such a difference when you have centre-halves who can head the ball to players or into space rather than just head it clear. Kerr just trying to help it round the corner for Harder. There's Kirby. G. This is where the space is for Chelsea, and Jonna Anderson filling it now. Bull just trying to latch onto that. She's got youth and pace. Which might be the one thing you'd say Chelsea's centre-backs don't, Sam. In terms of what they've got going forward, Berenstein and Clara Bull seem to be the furthest two forward. Do you think they're playing for the counter still?
I think so. It looks to me as if they drop back into three central defenders, a back five when they haven't got the ball. And when they've got it, I think it's Lauder steps into midfield. So it's a really interesting setup. So it's like a 3-5-2. And then she steps into midfield when they've got the ball. So her position is obviously very, very key to what they do. But yeah, they're actually showing Chelsea a lot of respect, I would say, considering they're the home side and in such good form. They're getting back into a very compact shape. I would say the two centre forwards are allowing Chelsea to have the ball to around the edge of the D, and then they're going and putting a slight press on, but it's not like Chelsea are doing at the other end. You know, Chelsea, they're quite content and quite confident to go and try and nick the ball high. See here, they're just shuffling across the two centre forwards. No great urgency to try and win the ball. I think it's when it gets played just over the halfway line, they're trying to come into play. Sadrazil, the first midfield player who kind of steps in. She's playing as the advanced one.
It's clearly a detailed tactical plan from Jens Scheuer. One that is involved leaving out, for now anyway, Lea Schuller is top scorer. To 13 in the Bundesliga, and she's got 3 in Europe. She's not on the field here, not yet anyway, as the foul comes in on Bayern's goal scorer today, Sydney Lohmann.
Yeah, that one just looks worse than it actually is. This one-footed sliding challenge. Leopold's not too much in it.
Lofted in, awkward bounce that. Bull was there, Ingle stayed calm, and Berger claims it.
Yeah, difficult, bouncing off the surface for Bull. She had the run for a fraction on Millie Bright, but just couldn't take it under her spell.
Harder, the 1-2, and it looked like a foul on Guro Wright, and I think the referee was just waiting to see if there was an advantage. Free kick given.
Again, it's they're tight little spaces, but Chelsea been able to find teammates, very controlled, possession nice and secure, and they've got into good areas and been able to win free kicks. Here's another one. It was Lauder coming out of that position that I just spoke of to engage a midfield player, and look at where Wrighton picked the ball up all the way over on the right-hand side. She's supposed to be the wide left player, so there's a great degree of freedom that they're afforded, loads of rotation.
How's the delivery this time? Not as deadly, didn't need a Bayern touch, watched out by Illerstedt.
It's not a particularly good ball, but you still expect that area of the 18-yard box to be covered. No one within probably 10 yards of that. 3 dark shirts in close proximity to where it landed, but unfortunately no Chelsea player pulled him around the back.
It's Emma Hayes you can hear, far more than Jens Scheuer. Thumped forward by Carter. for once, Sam Kerr is not on the case, but that's the thing. She's been a deadly finisher. She's useful as a genuine target forward because she has the strength, but she works so hard at pressuring defenders and running channels and closing down. Here's Glass in a dangerous position for Bayern. She's got it cross in, and this time it's not out of reach for Ann-Katrin Berger. Caught at the second attempt. No alarms this time. Now comes the Bayern squeeze. As Chelsea are forced back, but still comfortable in possession. Leupolz here, just dropping in. Bright having gone a little wider. Anderson round the corner. G onto that loose ball quickly. Harder, happy to take it in that tight spot. Jonna Anderson has just been getting some specific instruction from Emma Hayes, making a little underlapping run there. That's beautifully exchanged. It's Leupolz again, hammering with the left peg. Claiming offside here, I think that's right. Sam Kerr was in the nosebleed territory, quite literally, for Melanie Leupolz. The ricochet, I think, came back. Ball must have hit her in the face.
Story of our half, isn't it? A couple of ricochets. One that ended up in the back of the net. Unfortunately, that left foot strike seemed to have bounced off a Bayern player and straight into her nose.
Needs some sort of face mask. Were you watching the Jonna Anderson run there before, just in the build-up to this? This will show you how it happened. Ouch. Oh. At least it's the end of April on a warm day. A chance for an early half-time team talk. She'll have them in the dressing room a few minutes from now, Emma Hayes. Jens Scheuer too. He's been less vocal, and he's being less vocal right now. There's no right or wrong way to manage, but you're seeing hands-on and leave them to it. Two different schools here, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, a side with great experience at the highest level, so I'm sure they've got a number of players that have got over 100 caps for their country, so you've seen it all before. I think it's a nice contrast of styles that we're seeing. Chelsea a bit more measured, I think, in possession. Got probably better technical players from what I've seen so far in this first half. But Bayern have that athleticism. I think it's fair to say that that's what we've probably associated with the top German sides over the last few years, where Chelsea have just fallen a little bit short because they couldn't match that power, maybe that running power, that directness. And the German team seem to have that in abundance again today. So you have to hope that guile that the likes of G and Harder and Wrighton can prevail today. So it's a nice balance to this game.
2 minutes to half-time. Here's Glass. Threatening position for Bayern again. Crossing chance here. It's another good one. Really good one. Millie Bright got a piece of it. The shot's fired into a very crowded box. That's another wonderful ball in. It's just too far on it, really, for Berenstein.
Yeah, really good ball. Simon, I think it was, just picking out Berenstein at the far side. She just couldn't get above the ball and direct it onto the target. Just skimmed away to safety. But certainly seen some brilliant deliveries. Both flanks in terms of Bayern Munich, and obviously a lovely cross that forced the Chelsea equaliser.
To the final minute of normal time in this first period. Kirby. The first half in which Bayern led, but not for too long. Always find a way to score, this Chelsea side. Found a new way today. Sydney Lohmann is going to be the match winner. She's going to have to score again. Calmly done from Berger. First half stoppage time. 2 added minutes. Well won back by Chelsea. Anderson, right idea, I think, to cross first time now. Did it go over the line? It did, and there will be time for this Chelsea corner for certain.
Yeah, Anderson found in a really good position. I think she's just thinking if she can cushion that into the path of one of the oncoming Chelsea players, they'd be able to get a first-time finish away. It was right, and he was probably best positioned maybe to attack that had not been charged down.
Solid head, but it's more up than out. Not cleared yet as Fran Kirby has a go, and she might have another hit. G. Really bright, good ball, Fran Kirby. Filled in and done their jobs there, Bayern, as we approach the end of a interesting first half. Not chock full of chances, but intense and tense. And fairly even, depending on where you view the away goals. Pernille Harder thought that was a free kick. I'm slightly surprised not to hear the whistle blow for that, but it does blow for the break. Bayern led through Lohmann. A mistake from Ann-Katrin Berger, a real collector's item there from the brilliant Chelsea keeper. But the lead did not last long. An element of fortune about the equaliser. It came off the former Bayern midfielder, Melanie Leupolz. And this semi-final is 1-1 at half-time in the first leg. Now, before we have a look at the main moments from this first half, let's head back to midweek in the English WSL to see first playing second, Chelsea taking on Manchester City, and what entertainment there was there.
So as it stands, Chelsea 2 points clear of City, 2 games left in the title race after tonight. Cuthbert's corner. Sam Kerr's header is squeezed in. Chelsea strike first in this massive match, and no surprise, it's Sam Kerr who's got the goal. Here's Hemp. Managed to get the cross in, it was a great ball too, and it's swept in for 1-1. Chloe Kelly levels. Chelsea's lead lasted for not even 5 minutes. Well, there is always drama when these two meet. There are usually goals too. Here's Kerr. Going to do it all herself, not necessarily a problem. Oh, it's brilliant from Sam Kerr. Can she get the shot off? Penalty. Roebuck claims she got the ball, but I think the referee's got that spot on. Kerr got the touch to take it away from the City goalkeeper. Pernille Harder. versus Ellie Roebuck there to restore Chelsea's lead in this crucial game. She's done it. Cool as you like. It's a decent free kick. Back toward goal and flicked over by Berger. It's an excellent save from the Chelsea keeper. You get the feeling she's going to have a big second half. Kirby, oh, that's a really loose one. He's crossed, Bright missed it, Hemps turned it in. City level. And their first thought is to get the ball back on the centre spot. It's a bad goal from Chelsea's point of view. A fantastic delivery, but what a save! Oh, how on earth! That is breathtaking from Ann-Katrin Berger. Anderson let that bounce, hasn't gone out yet. Now she can get it clear. And as far as bronze. City finishing strong here, and Berger saved again. And Cuthbert can bring it clear. England's flick on. Here's Sam Kerr. She could win it with the last kick of the game here, Kerr. And Roebuck denies Chelsea victory. But it is a point that feels like more than that. A huge result for Chelsea. 2-2 the final score.
Well, they might have wrapped up the title sooner had they won it with the last kick of the game there, Chelsea, but still 2 clear with 2 to play, Tottenham and Reading. Manchester City probably needed to win that, but we shall see. More up in the air is this semi-final tie. 2 clubs looking for their first final. It's been an interesting first half. Chelsea's first chance of any real note was this effort from Guro Wrighton, Sam.
Yeah, this is maybe one of the better chances of the half. It's maybe a little bit straight onto it there. Difficult to manufacture the bend to take it into the corner.
But then this cross here from the Swede, Hannah Glass, was excellent. Berger wanted to come for it. She's been so commanding this term. It was too good to be within reach for her, and Sydney Lohmann stuck it into the net.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good delivery. It spelt trouble, really, the moment it left their foot, but obviously Berger will be disappointed. And that was the equalising goal. Wrighton putting in an equally good delivery, just clipped into a great area, and then you get in a lovely little bit of luck. Lou Pols doesn't know anything about it. The hooked intended headed clearance just ricocheted right into the corner. They weren't able to scramble it away. Look at that. They know where it's going to end up, unfortunately, despite those efforts.
Hegering, the unlucky defender. It was a good defensive header, really. Could have gone anywhere. Ended up in the back of the net off the former Bayern midfielder. Pernille Harder couldn't quite get her angles right for this one here.
That's what they've done well as well, Ben, when they've been closed down, tight spaces, they've moved it really intelligently. Passing's been crisp through the opposition. I love this movement from Sam Kerr. Just felt that she took an extra step. Probably maybe just wary of getting clattered as well. The challenge was about to come in, and unfortunately just delayed a fraction too long.
Excellent challenge from Hegering, and an excellent ball from Sophie Ingle too. So 1-1. with still 45 to play here and at least 90 more back in England next week. Chelsea's men have a Champions League semi-final coming up with Real Madrid this week. Yesterday, it was West Ham away, with only goal difference separating them at kick-off in the battle for a Champions League finish. Here's a look at the main moments from that game. Hugely impressive from West Ham. Here's Werner off Diop. There's tons of energy in these early minutes here. Much of it coming from Mount. Azpilicueta down the right, and Mount just trying to get himself a bit of room. It's a shot on target.
Good feet then, isn't it? Good skills from Mason Mount. This is what we're saying when we see him higher up the pitch.
There's no flag on Timo Werner here. He gets there ahead of Diop. Pulisic arriving. Chilwell, Mount as well. It's another one on target. This time it's Pulisic, but it's straight at Fabianski. Lingard takes, it's over Souček. It didn't quite drop for Bonner. Goodness me, it's nearly in off Azpilicueta.
Yeah,
they're claiming an arm.
Oh, it's actually hit his chest.
Pulisic finds Chilwell. Yes, Werner! Had to be! Massive goal! 2 minutes before half-time. Timo Werner as well. Everything about that is brilliant news for Chelsea.
Well, it's great play, isn't it?
Mason Mount, that's worth a hit. And it's a great hit. Following up, it must be... Oh, no.
First one save on his right arm and his second one his left arm. Pats it down into a great position. It's got to go in.
Werner and Chilwell here. Ouch!
Through by Balbuena.
Does he know what he's doing there? It's going to be 10 men for West Ham with 10 to play. Off you go, Balbuena. Silly boy. And still Mount off. It's too high for Tammy Abraham.
So unlucky.
It's not as bad a miss as it looks, that. Another big test pass for Chelsea. Just one goal, but 3 really big points here. West Ham 0, Chelsea 1.
You know, we don't want it to get into the situation where we're going to rely on other teams to slip up because we can't do it ourselves. You know, when we put ourselves in the driving seat to get top 4, and like you said there, in our own fate, that's what winning games is going to do between now and the end of the season.
Another assist for you today. What gives you more pleasure, an assist or a clean sheet?
An assist is always nice, especially when it's the winner. But a clean sheet, I'm a defender, so the clean sheet for myself, but for the whole team is massive because I've said it in interviews before. It's not just the back 5 and the goalkeeper that find the clean sheet. It's important when you look at the midfield and the attacking players, what they do for the team to contribute towards the clean sheet. That's, you know, very important. And I think since the manager's come in, it's been a massive reason that, you know, we've been winning games and been very successful.
Big game to come on Tuesday. Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. It just sounds great when you say it, doesn't it? That's exactly why you came to this club, for that kind of night, I suppose.
Exactly that. It's why you come to a club like Chelsea to play Champions League semi-finals, FA Cup finals. So yeah, you know, very excited personally. We're very excited as a team, and I'm sure the fans are very excited as well. So, you know, it's a shame they can't be there to watch us, but we're going to hopefully go there and, you know, have a good performance and do everyone proud.
It's not for the first time, Sam. Chelsea firing on various fronts at all levels, men, women and children. And a big step there in terms of, well, not guaranteeing by any stretch, but that top 4 picture's becoming a little more favourable, looking like for the cup finalists, actually, Leicester and Chelsea, as we go into Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be some twists and turns. Obviously, the Leicester game for Chelsea, that's coming up. There could be loads riding on that. I probably feel that West Ham's race is nearly run. I've gone early there, but I just think the injuries and the last 3 or 4 performances, I think they've rode their luck and taken maximum points. So I'd be very surprised if they're going to be contenders going into the last couple of games. And then it's just a question if Tottenham, Liverpool can string a run together to put themselves in the mix. But realistically, yeah, I think Chelsea got a great opportunity. Leicester's fixtures look quite favourable as well, so I think they'll probably do enough to get in there as well this year.
It's the Blues and the Foxes meeting, we think, 3 days after they meet at Wembley in the cup final. Maybe they'll play out a draw, because it might suit both to not let anyone else in. We shall see. That's the midweek before the final weekend of the domestic season. But with Europe next, Real Madrid away on Tuesday night. Let's hear from Thomas Tuchel now.
When you play against Real Madrid, you know that you arrive on the highest level in Champions League. You cannot get a more difficult team, because they are the team which ruled the Champions League in the last years with Zinedine Zidane. So a tough one, a very tough one. They are very experienced in semi-finals. We are very unexperienced in semi-finals. So let's see. I hope we can continue to play as brave as we do in the moment, and we can continue our adventure and play adventurous style of football, an attacking style. It is a bit of a problem that we have only 2 days in between the two matches. 3 would have been better. You see also clearly today that three games in between gives you another freshness. It gives you another capacity physically. But okay, it's like this, and yeah, we are excited because to arrive with a crucial win now is the best way to prepare that match.
Real Madrid have handed further initiative to Atletico at the top of La Liga by only drawing 0-0 with Betis yesterday. The first leg of the semi-final, the first Champions League meeting of these two clubs. Tuesday, and from 10 to 7 in the evening, you can join the Matchday Live team. Well, Sam, Tuchel's Chelsea have done a fine job in shutting down attacks, whether that's Liverpool, Manchester United, Porto, Atletico Madrid, all different styles, all different qualities, and Real had it easy really against a Liverpool defence that let them score goals. I don't think they'll like playing against the discipline of this current Chelsea side that just limits the attacks and the shots on goals, never mind the goals.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the recent results. I mean, it seems strange to be talking about Real Madrid as the team you wanted to face in the last 4, which seems preposterous, and the proof will be in the pudding, won't it? Because just when you're writing off a superpower, if you like Real Madrid, they're probably very likely to put in a couple of stellar performances, but you can't not enjoy or be impressed by what Thomas Tuchel's done. I mean, it really is phenomenal. It's over a consistent period of time now. It's no fluke that they are defending so regimentally, got so confident, so much confidence in what they're going to do in that regard. Obviously, there's more to come going forward. We know that, you know, whether that's with his coaching or adding 1 or 2 maybe in the summer. But at the moment, looking like a great bet to get through that tie, you'd have to say, and a lot of that is just down to the form of those guys in the middle of the pitch who are stopping the opposition, but also the guys at the back who are doing such a stellar job of stopping the opposition's having shots.
21 games played under Thomas Tuchel now for Chelsea, and they've conceded in 5 of those 21 matches. That is remarkable. Now, as for the women, conceded 1, scored 1, a slim advantage, very slim, but an away goal following on from the Roman opener that was early, and he wondered how Chelsea would react. Well, it was positive enough, albeit with a large slice of fortune. Hegering's defensive header really could have gone anywhere, and the ricochet of Melanie Leupolz could have gone anywhere, but into the back of the Bayern net it floated. And Jens Scheuer there has had his 15 minutes, so has Emma Hayes. And I'm not quite sure what to expect in this second half, Sam.
It's funny seeing the goals back there, because I'm thinking Hegering can actually probably leave that. I think Sam Kerr's giving it up. Leupolz is not quite going to make it. Probably just would have flown to safety over the byline. So it's those little fine margins, isn't it? It's a big stroke of luck. I don't think we'll see anything too different. I think Emma Hayes would probably be pretty chuffed with a 1-1. I think she's seen enough here in the opening 45 minutes to believe they can go on and get goals in this second half and win this encounter. I think 1-1 would do them very nicely. It's probably up to Bayern Munich to come out and show a little bit more urgency with and without the ball. I think they've shown Chelsea respect in that first half, but the onus will be on them, I think, to get the victory and come to London with a bit of an advantage.
Pressure on. First semi-final, equally balanced with 90 minutes played. Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona drawing 1 each. They too will play again next Sunday. The road to Gothenburg. 4 clubs on it, and still, as it was prior to kick-off in either semi-final today, too close to call. 3 league titles for Emma Hayes, a couple of FA Cups, back-to-back League Cups. Was on the Arsenal staff when they won the Champions League in a former guise, if you like, in 2007. That is the only English success. It's basically been owned by Germany, even with Lyon having won 7 of them. The last 5, Germany still lead the way, but not yet Bayern Munich. No changes from either coach. Not yet anyway. Sophie Ingle, time on the ball, and G taking up that position again. Jonna Andersson so often available to her left, as she is there. Suddenly Berenstein on the sprint. Poole is with her. Berenstein may go it alone here. Heavy touch. And that brought Berger into play, and quite comfortably too.
Yeah, a bit of a let-off. Leopolds with the loose pass, I think it was. Very unlike her in the middle of the pitch, and yeah, just overran it, Berenstein. I thought Millie Bright was taking a little bit of a risk there, just kind of allowing her that channel, just saying, go on, you take it on your left foot. That touch would have been a little bit more secure. Would have been able to get the strike away, I thought. Possibly just showing her the other way in towards Ingle. They were nice and tight, the 2 centre-halves. Full-back court, a little bit up the pitch.
Sam Kerr nipping in on Laudet. How's the cross? Oh, it was looking dangerous for a moment. That's an important touch. Here's Lohmann. The goal is given it and has kept on running. As Bull strikes goalwards. Not far off either.
Yeah, terrific effort. That's probably her first strike that I can recall, but been lively. Made good runs in the early part of the first half, and that's the first opportunity she's had to strike on her weaker side. Just whistles over the crossbar. Berger actually just pulls the hand away.
Might have had it covered, probably. Maybe. Nice position picked up there. Was that a clip? It was. It's been such a production line this season for Chelsea. Fran Kirby to Sam Kerr. Hegering has not been backward in coming forward with her challenges in this game, and this is in a very tasty position for Chelsea. Central enough to really get them excited about a hit. Now, I think it might favour a right foot, but Guro Wrighton is there. And now queuing up Millie Bright round the back. It must be! Oh, how's it not gone in? It was over Bright, and it somehow ended up in the gloves, through design or otherwise, of Laura Benkart. That had to be 2-1.
I'm surprised it's not initially struck goalwards. It looks in range, didn't it? But trusting that Guro Wrighton was going to find the right delivery, and it's Sam Kerr with the header square. I can only think that Pernille Harder's got maybe in front of the ball and can't readjust to force it over the line. Got something on it, but it was back, unfortunately, straight towards the goalkeeper's arms. With you, it looked, when it was headed square, had to be a goal.
One of those ones where you're just surprised that it's not in the net. Ingle. We're seeing Fran Kirby doing this more and more this season, and more in this game, I think. Been brilliant at it as well, embracing a different kind of role this term. Hasn't stopped her scoring 21 in all competitions, 14 in the WSL.
This is where they've impressed me, because they look quite compact, the 2 strikers, Bayern Munich, then they have the 3 midfield players, then the back 5 in there. But all 3 forward players behind Sam Kerr coming deeper, getting between the lines and able to receive. Really comfortable. I suppose there's a little bit of a 3v2 going on there, because the 2 deeper Bayern Munich midfield players are kind of in that area. but they're just finding positions where they can pick up the ball and get turned really easily. So it's either great movement or it's their setup's not particularly great.
Lauder might have had a foot trodden on there. Pernille Harder, not suggesting for a second that's a cautionable offence, but she was booked in the first half, so you do just have to be a little bit careful when you've already picked up one. You never know. Referee might see it a different way. No VAR yet. Believe there will be in the Gothenburg final, incidentally, so you take a risk when you lunge in when you've already been booked. It wasn't an out-and-out lunge, in fairness to Harder, but here's another look at the Kerr header across the face.
She just tries to almost knee it over the line. I think she's there. Harder was very close to being offside, must have been. I think Millie Bright possibly was. Sam Kerr was the player that headed it square. I'm not sure why that wasn't forced over the line. It looked like she definitely got there.
It was Glass who was in there from a Bayern point of view. Just wonder if physically her presence was enough to just...
Yeah, maybe.
Just to be an impediment, even if she didn't get a clean touch on the ball. She's just kind of in the way. And sometimes that's all it takes. Harder away from the Zadrazil attempted challenge. Millie Bright. There's Carter. An end to the season she's having. For various reasons, very much on the periphery for quite a long time in her Chelsea career, Jess Carter. But a big start, a big vote of confidence at Wolfsburg. She's recently scored her first Chelsea goal in a long time and only her second ever, keeping her place. Need Charles left on the bench. Maren Mjelde, of course, would be playing at right back. So Chelsea without two of the most experienced defenders possible, really. They've still got plenty of experience out there with Brighton, England. Anderson. Maren Mjelde, a long-term absentee after the League Cup final injury, and Magda Eriksson more recent. Makes it all the more impressive in a sense that Chelsea are able to keep the results coming. You have two of your established back four out. Pressure on Lauder immediately, but she wasn't actually closed down that tightly, and the pass has gone forward towards Bull. Millie Bright, safety first, bit of covering there as Bethany England warms up for Chelsea. Simon. Zadrazil, Simon again. Back there with Ilestedt. And Ilestedt once more. Lauder here, one of three members of the Bayern squad who survived from the 27 meeting here. Fran Kirby got the away goal that day. Strong from Millie Bright, but legal on Berenstein. Was excellent. Fair play to McGull for getting the challenge in as well. Just a lull. You wonder, privately, how both bosses would feel about 1-1 right now if this was how it ended. You'd make a case, couldn't you, Sam, that both of them would go okay? Would say, yeah, I'll take it.
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. I think when there's another game to come, you can always, yeah, be optimistic that it's going to be a different game and hopefully the outcome that you want. I think that's always in the back of your mind, isn't it? It's only half-time, whatever happens today.
Of course, it will be Bayern, who, should they need it, have extra chance for away goals, but Harder coming through here. And Ilestedt did enough. I don't think that's a foul, it's just strong defending. Jenshoy just suddenly becoming a little more animated as Simon bangs on down the line. She's sliced that. Berenstein never going to get on the end of it. And one or two Chelsea players warming up there, as well as Bethany England. Erin Cuthbert is. Jess Carter with the throw. G. Anderson to Ingle. Millie Bright, been part of the Chelsea Champions League story from the very beginning. It's Glasgow City. Way back, late 2015. Kirby in well, they're all shouting for it. Chelsea ball is the decision. Or is it? Nope. Assistant said Chelsea ball, referee overruled. Jens Scheuer with plenty to say for himself to said assistant. Bright in strongly, down goes ball, but forward come Bayern anyway. It's Glass! You are joking! What a goal that is! She's pulled that out of nowhere. And I have to say it, but again there may be question marks on Ann-Katrin Berger, beaten at her near post. I don't know if it took a touch on the way through. She may be injured, but Bayern lead again.
Well, it was a good advantage, wasn't it, from the referee. Millie Bright makes the foul there, just allows it to go on. And I felt when she received the ball here, guys, she was reluctant to take the strike on. It looked like she wasn't sure what she wanted to do with it, and then just shifted it. And it's a wonderfully accurate shot. I'm not sure it has too much power in it, but finds a brilliant effort. It's bending away. Berger, I think you just compliment the strike there.
You don't expect it to go there, do you? You think if anything, if anyone, especially on their wrong foot, is going to hit a curling shot there, 9 times out of 10 it's going far corner in their mind, and she might even have meant that, but at near corner it's gone. She has made one with an amazing right-footed cross. She has scored one with a wonderful left-footed shot, and Chelsea must come from behind again, while there is treatment for the goalkeeper and concern for Ann-Katrin Berger. Presumably in trying to save that has collided with the frame of the goal. Emma Hayes has another impromptu and important team talk.
Yeah, it's not natural probably to clip it towards the near post. If you're a left-footed full-back playing at right-back and you come in field and you whip it in there, maybe with a bit of disguise on it, then you can understand it, but invariably that strike's going to go towards the far post if it's not your natural foot. So to see it curve towards the near stick probably is what's done for Berger. So I'm giving the credit to the goal scorer. Yeah, at this stage I'm thinking, is this unfamiliar territory? And then all of a sudden digs out a wonderful effort.
Well, she's been hugely responsible for the 2 best moments of quality from Bayern in this game, and they have a precious lead. He won't take a draw now, will he? Jens Scheuer. But there is still half an hour to go here. You would still think Chelsea are almost at evens anyway, going into a second home leg at 2-1 down with an away goal in the bank, but, well, we shall see.
An hour in, I think that the Chelsea staff will be scratching their heads a little bit. I think
because they've not really been looking under threat.
No, it's been a pretty controlled away performance. Played some really nice stuff. Probably marginally had the better chances, and being caught with, you know, one poor goalkeeping error for the first, and then a really good individual strike that probably could have been avoided as well, the second one. So I wouldn't say Bayern have done probably enough to be in front of this game. The 1-1 was probably the right result at that stage.
Second time in a week that Chelsea have conceded twice. It's only happened across all competitions 5 times this season. It is a rare thing indeed, and normally goals for have been so plentiful, but this is a different level. Bayern have limited Chelsea to 1 rather fortunate effort thus far. How many clear sights of the Bayern goal have they had? How many saves has Lara Benkart really made in this game? The answer is not many. In fact, I'm trying to think of them now, Sam.
I can't
important saves from Bayern's keeper?
No, I can't think of any. I don't think. We've had the harder strike, the right and early opportunity.
But there's always Kirby and Harder, 60 goals between them. They need to make that 61 here, I think. Here's G. It's a tougher job this time next week, back in Blighty. Here's Jess Carter, who we've not seen doing that very much in this game at all. Simon with the challenge. It was Chelsea who twice led in midweek in the big game against Man City, and twice they were pegged back. And the Hayes side have to do the pegging back here. Jonna Andersson. Loopholtz. Kirby. Strongly defended by Simone Lauder.
There was no need really to put that into the channel, into the space. There was a lovely little 15-yard bit of space in front of the Harder there where she could have received it into feet.
Here comes Bayern's top scorer. Young Clara Buhl being replaced by Lea Schuller. Scored in midweek to take her tally to 13 in the league, to go with the 3 she's got in this competition. Fresh legs up front for the hosts. There she is. Berenstein did well to get in front of her opponent there, but the toe poker's given it to G. Forced back, but she's always so composed on the ball. Jonna Andersson. To right now. The cross is too close to Benkart. Simon. The other thing about that 2-1 is because it's not desperately bad news for Chelsea. There's a flag up here on McGill. How hard do you go to try and pinch yourself a second equaliser here, in the knowledge that 3-1 is a very different proposition going into a second leg if you do get caught leaving that back door a little too open? These are all the choices that the players on the field and the coaches on the touchlines have to get right. Kirby putting the pressure on. What do you think on that front, Sam? Should Chelsea go for it just a fraction more or quite a lot more?
I don't think you do, to be honest, at this stage. I think they're looking a bit more in the groove now, looking a bit more confident in this second half. Chelsea have stopped getting success at playing through them. That's just deserted them.
I think that was not a Chelsea touch. I thought it might have been that put Berenstein through, but offside flag is up.
I think what you probably do, Ben, is that you hope that your attacking changes, your attacking substitutions can benefit the side, rather than going too attacking in terms of changing the system or, you know, tweaking one or two things to try.
Or even playing 10 yards higher up, or
yeah, maybe. But I think at 2-1 behind, you just hope that Bethany England, for example, can come on motivated and give you a little bit of impetus and maybe nick you a goal.
Or Niamh Charles, who appears to be first from the Hayes bench. Maybe because she has a bit more attacking prowess than Jess Carter, if that is to be the change on the Chelsea right side. That'll be a free kick. Sam Kerr coming deep, and McGill with the challenge coming in, and here comes the change. It's Guro Wright, by the looks of things, coming off. And Emma Hayes is talking players through things here. Now, where is Niamh Charles going to play? So I'd be surprised if it's left side. We saw her play further upfield in the cup game. Scored a brilliant goal. Super relationship playing there with Hannah Blundell, who was at right back. Looks like Charles is playing as an out-and-out right winger, maybe here, or even a wing back. Sam, with Kirby going further forward. That could just be because of where Chelsea are on the ball. I want to overstate it too early, but G has poked it forward here. It's not going to be a penalty, but it will be a corner.
Yeah, good stuff from Kerr. Good movement again, well found by G, and then that challenge had to be absolutely spot on from Ilstad, as it was. Forcing the corner, and this is an area I think, going back to London, they'll be optimistic. They can cause them problems from set pieces. I've seen a goal come from there this evening. There's another opportunity now, Anderson.
It's the left-footed delivery of Guro Brighton is no longer an option. Watch out for Millie Bright here. She's lurking at the back of the D. She's going to stay lurking, but it's going to drop to her. Tough on the bounce, and a massive crowd of players. She was the right one to watch out for, as it turned out, but not really a threat. Just curious as to what... I'm sure Fran Kirby has a much higher starting position now. Let's find some momentum, screams Emma Hayes, and Niamh Charles' throw into Harder was a great idea. Oh, that is close.
Yeah, I don't think Emma Hayes probably meant that, but she nearly supplied a through ball from a throw-in. Unbelievable. Might have been a second touch, was it? Just skipped off the surface, didn't it? The run from Harder was excellent.
I think Niamh Charles might be a right wing-back here, and Jonna Anderson left wing-back.
Yeah, and
Jess Carter in here.
what's the right side of centre-half? Yeah, she played it, didn't she? Centre-half against the Lionesses, didn't she, Carter? And played very well.
Long
Yeah.
ball up here. Now, a tangle, but no free kick. Emma's gone wing-backs. Not often you see that, actually.
Yeah. And then Pernille Harder as a one behind a front two, it looks like. So, you were right, Ben, I would say. It's an attacking change. Taking a defender out the game, really, if those two wing-backs are going to occupy high starting positions and essentially be wingers, which seemed to be the instruction from Emma Hayes, didn't it? Get high, get wide was the instructions as soon as Niamh Charles came onto the pitch. She feels there's another goal in this.
So we think a kind of 3-4-1-2 for Chelsea. And it's 2-1 Bayern, that's all that really counts. They've had a fascinating and changing tactical shape throughout. But Linshire will deem it halfway to job done. But it's slender the advantage as it stands, all to play for when they meet again this time next week. There's still probably 25 minutes left of football here. And this is promising for Lea Schuller, away from G. And a good pass. Here's Glass again. Surely not. Well, it's on target.
Yeah, a little daisy cutter. Berger under pressure to keep hold of that because there was a Bayern player breaking her neck to get into a great position inside the 6-yard box to hopefully have a tap in. Another good raid down the right-hand side. Essentially, it's two very similar systems now. I'm not sure, you know, if Emma anticipated them setting up in this fashion, but yeah, it showed Chelsea a lot of respect, I felt, in the first half.
Katrin Berger's seen enough of Hannah Glass. She's bearing down with another shot there. She's probably thinking not again. Ambitious ball, forcing it a bit, and that's probably what Bayern would like to see. Still a thumbs up from Fran Kirby, but that's where the space was, and it's where the space can be if your wing-backs are caught upfield.
Yeah, just didn't quite get that direction. Quite comfortable save in the end.
Right. Maybe Fran Kirby will drop into the 10 role now. Pernille Harder has not had her usual influence on proceedings here. Bethany England, very much a number 9. Chelsea have got 3 prolific forwards on the field now. Chelsea change, incidentally, was the 9 for 23. Not the Bayern. That'll be UEFA. Here's Magul. Bethany England barely misses a match. She's good enough to start for most top sides, but doesn't start that often in the league, certainly not these days for Chelsea. Will always play just about. It's a tough forward line to get into, but on here for 20 minutes. Maybe with that extra energy Sam Parkin was talking about for this final fling of the first leg. Here comes Millie Bright. You would still have a reasonable degree of confidence Chelsea could do it from 2-1 down. From 2 each, you'd make them favourites. But it's tight. Neve Charles with the throw again. Kirby. He's found Hegering a really stubborn defensive wall to try and get through, as is Sam Kerr. That's delicately done from Simon to Schuller. Jess Carter standing firm.
Yeah, Hegering has actually been the one who's come forward, really. Talking about the Chelsea forward players getting into areas of space where they could get turned. She actually comes out of the back 3 and goes, engages, and just goes and challenges and be's aggressive. So sometimes makes them lose their shape a little bit, but more often than not, she's been able to get something on the ball. Just been really aggressive, stepping out of that position.
Kirby to Leupolz.
Need numbers around the box.
Charles. G. Leupolz. Need numbers around the box, says Emma Hayes. They've got them. Oh, Bethany England just trying to spin. Good cover defending.
Yeah, good stuff from Sam Kerr, just leaning into her marker, allowing the ball to run there. Bethany England's position maybe should have been in line with her centre-forward partner. A little over. I don't know if Sam Kerr was leaving it especially for Bethany England, but it was a chance.
Charles to Kirby. Tough angles. Jess Carter with the chance to cross, and she's found England. Didn't quite drop for G. It might do now. Oh, what a hit! And the follow-up from England is saved. G could not have come closer. It's a beautiful effort from a player of supreme technique. What a goal it would have been. 2-2 it would have been. 2-1 it stays.
Yeah, it's a good ball in from Carter initially. Oh, it's a wonderful strike. I thought it was actually closer than it actually is. Seeing it second, now third viewing. Yeah, bounces out, doesn't it, rather than down. And England's up early. Unfortunately, the loft that it gets, rebounding off the crossbar. She can't generate any power on it. Wonderful effort.
So close. Bayern's lead remains. Let's take that from Lauder. Now, down the channel for Schuller to chase. Berger will get there. Maybe that little bit of luck just going Bayern's way when it went Chelsea's in the first half. Because there's no doubt, we're talking about Laura Benkert not really making many saves. She wasn't getting near that. 1 inch further down and it's 2 each. Leupolz, G. Such a classy looking finisher. That was a typical shot of hers, really. Millie Bright. Defenders joining the attack. That's a great cross. What a ball in from the captain. And the first header a moment ago for Bethany England was a tough one. I think she'd expect to do better with that one, though, Sam.
Well, the option's there now, isn't it, to put it in there, because I would say Bethany England's probably the best header of the ball, attacking-wise, that Chelsea have got. So it's a really good ball in from Millie Bright. That is a clear option. and she's just backpedaling, slightly too high. Unfortunately, she didn't start that movement a bit earlier, peel around the back, but maybe just didn't expect Millie Bright to put it in so early.
Chelsea have made an absolute mess of that, trying to get on with the quick free kick, and suddenly it's Berenstein coming forward for Bayern. And an absolute shambles that was from both.
But you need to give me the sign first.
That's excellent from Kirby. Rarely had the chance to do that in this game, and she's still going here, Kirby. Great challenge coming in. This time from Ilestedt. Two Swedes at the back have been exemplary for Bayern, I think, as well as Hegering. Ilestedt in particular, Glass, not just for going forward, but she's been defensively good too. Chelsea ball, Chelsea pressure. Substitutions are making a difference, Sam. I know they haven't yet to the scoreline, but now what's happening here? We've got a change, and only a chitter-chatter on the touchline as Linda Dahlmann comes on. Regular and experienced player, ever present in the Bundesliga, and has scored a few too. She's replaced Berenstein, who was just involved in that latest breakaway. Meanwhile, back to the action. More on the subs in a minute. Quick Chelsea throw goes back to Jess Carter. That's worked out. And England has ridden that challenge well, but she was offside. Relief for Bayern Munich with probably 15 minutes or so to go. There's Karina Veninger, the other player to come on. A survivor from the Bayern squad. Last time Chelsea were here as Berger comes out. And in a game that's produced a couple of wobbly moments for her, that was an importantly timed challenge on Schuller. Didn't quite look like she fancied the 50-50 as much as the Chelsea goalkeeper did. Glass didn't keep that in. Straight back to defensive duty. For a right back who's had a big say in this first leg. Chelsea beaten by Brighton in the league, by Everton in what was technically last season's FA Cup, but happened during the course of this season. And that's it. Are they about to lose in the Champions League? Lohmann's cross comes to nothing.
Yeah, it looks like they've just retreated somewhat, Bayern Munich. The 10, the substitute Dahlmann's just going to play off Schuller. So where they had the two forward players in the early part of the game, just looks like they just congest in the middle of the pitch a little bit further. Try and see this over the line. Schuller will bring them that threat, I suppose, on the counter-attack as well if they do need to play in behind.
Backing themselves to see out 10-15 minutes here. And maybe, as you say, with the counter, a little pass like that from Lohmann towards Schuller is not little enough from Bayern's perspective.
Yeah, just going to try and soak up. Midfield players will break forward. If Schürrle can hold the play up, I would imagine Chelsea can have the lion's share of the ball in the last 10 minutes.
Kirby. There's a lot of black shirts in the way. Millie Bright's pass was the very antithesis of the patience called for by a coach. Could be costly. Here's Lohmann. The ball is on and the ball is played. This is Magol. 3 in the middle waiting for it. Magol. It was headed for the substitute Dahlmann. Ingle in the way. And Millie Bright's not listening to a coach. That'll be a fine.
Yeah, just trying to thread too much of an intricate pass into one of the forward players. Just be a bit safer, side to side. Always say it 10 minutes to go. That is so much time to create one, maybe even 2 good opportunities. Ingle gets her out of trouble in the end. I thought Magol, as Chelsea backed off, could have just put her right foot through it rather than try and pick someone out, congested in the 18-yard box by then, maybe just struck towards the far post. We've already seen what ricochets can do.
Caroline Simon with the corner. It's a good one as well. So is the punch from Berger. Magol tries to put her right foot through that one from rather further out. Fran Kirby right on top of her to get the instant block. Simon again. Charles doing the pressing. Emma Hayes demanding more of that, closing down. Bayern playing their way through. That was tidy until then. Schürrle just dying to get on the end of a correctly played pass like that. There have been 3 or 4 that have almost found her in the clear.
When it comes out, go in, good drive, go inside, good.
Jess Carter, being micromanaged through every step of the way by a boss on the touchline. Leave Charles back to make the challenge, and that'll suit Bayern fine. Kerr winning the flick on. England made a good-looking instant impact. It's her doing the closing down there. Tough-headed chance. Bayern doing a reasonable job of seeing this out. They're not there yet. Probably 10 minutes or so.
This for me is important. We're still away. Sitting there, no transitions.
Another semi-final poised at 1 each. This one with the slender Bayern advantage. Both play to a finish a week today. Carter. Cut out by Simon.
Stay in the game.
Gemma's with me, Ben.
Keep your head.
Conservatism.
Remember, we've got 2 legs of this.
Keep your heads. We've got 2 legs of this. Stay in the game.
Yeah, it's that the tendency. You're competitors, aren't you, footballers? You want to go and get that goal because you feel that the opportunity's there, because Bayern are sitting back to a degree and just playing on the counter. They're playing like the away side at the moment,
Which the scoreline affords them the luxury of doing. But absolutely right. Chelsea cannot win this tie now, but they could, if they're too gung-ho, give themselves an awful lot to do in the second leg. Not necessarily lose it, but 3-1 is very different. 2-2 would be nicer, and it's been snatched here. Kirby is on, England is on. Kerr, it's wide, it's tight, she goes for goal. And Bayern get their blocks in. They have defended well.
Yeah, and that's probably frustration from Sam Kerr that they've stifled their attacking threat really well. So there was another pass in that, and just in their eagerness to affect the game, took the strike on.
Which is a huge credit to the Bayern Munich defenders, isn't it? And as you say, she has been stifled, even when she doesn't score, and recently that has not been very often the case. She certainly has chances to score and shoot, Sam Kerr. She and Kirby on the ball here. Harder before, really limited. I mentioned it a couple of times, there's 60 goals between them, that trio. They've probably had 2 shots between them in this match. Harder had one in the first half. I'm not sure if Fran Kirby has yet. That's her touch there. Simon with the defending. Forward by Zadrazil. Nicely taken by Dalman. They're showing the composure under pressure here, I think, Bayern.
Yeah, the amount of good chances created will be a concern. Has to be, because they've defended very well, and there was a large stroke of good luck for the Chelsea away goal this afternoon. So it's, you know, conjuring better calibre of chances that Emma Hayes is going to have to think about.
Because the finishes at the club are good enough, Sam, absolutely, aren't they? So if Chelsea create 4 or 5 decent chances against Bayern, you would think they'll probably take 2 or 3 of them, but it's creating that 4 or 5 in the first place.
And again, it'll be food for thought. You know, they've played a different way for the last, what, 15 minutes was it since they went to this shape? You know, that might be an option from the start. Kind of match them up and play with the 3 centre defenders, really push the 2 wide players high. Try and get someone Harder, maybe Kirby as playing as the link behind 2 front players, you know, go for it from the off.
1-0 Chelsea, of course. If it stays this way, we'll do it in the second leg. There's a million ways to do it. With 2 legs, with away goals being a factor. It's 3-1. Bayern are looking for that now. Bethany England could have made the foul there and didn't. I bet she wishes she had now. This is Dalman. Good strike.
It was a good strike. Aside from the G effort, that's as clean as they probably caught one. Dalman. I think Bethany England had to make the challenge. Not sure if that was the instruction that came from the bench, but I thought she should have probably made the game go dead. That's a lovely strike, actually. You see the ball wobbling in the air. Catches it beautifully. A couple of yards inside the post. Not sure if Berger would have got there.
Couple of minutes plus whatever is added on. Long ball in search of Kirby. Low pulse. Too much on that. There's Hegering. Hammered out. Lohman. That's cheaply turned over. Great challenge from Carter, but Bayern keep the ball.
That was really important. It's Millie Bright with the giveaway, but Carter just got something on it to just stop the momentum of that Munich attack.
Carter, in her attempts to shepherd the player towards the touchline, has allowed the goal in here. Well played, Niamh Charles. No messing from Carter this time. Up it goes. Calm head of G. And the calm feet too. Kirby moves it on. Get in the box, screams Emma Hayes. There's only 2 in there at the moment, and that's a shocking pass.
Just floundering a little bit. Definitely England in particular wasn't up with play there. I'm sure that shout was directed towards her, and another Chelsea player just kind of ambling in the middle of the pitch as the ball broke towards the left-hand side. Already spoke about her prowess, I think. Bethany England is supplied from wide.
Kerr running into traffic. There is England. I think the final touch was hers. Goal kick it is. Just those little moments going Bayern's way.
Yeah, she made the run, just wanted it earlier. maybe would have been able to flash a left-footed shot towards the target, but when the ball did come, defender was always favourite.
McGill will be replaced here as we go into stoppage time. It's Simone Boy, Dane, coming on to replace Lena McGill, and into that first minute of added time. The 4.5 more, mind you, that substitution took it to already be going to 5.5. England moves it on. This is Niamh Charles. Nicely done. Sam Kerr. That's a more dangerous ball, but it's still close enough. I reckon Laura Bernhardt would have expected to be a little bit busier today than she has been.
It was a good take, wasn't it? Bernhardt, as you say, not had too much to do, but Cameron took that excellently. Just alleviated a bit of pressure that was maybe building on the back line.
Leupolz. Not going to be a winning return to Bayern for her. Back in Bavaria. Got two clubs here daring to dream of a fabulous double of League and Europe, and the jeopardy of it all is that both of them have a great chance of winning both. Both of them could win neither. Here's Kirby into England. Oh, she went down cheaply there. She's bought Chelsea a free kick with 3 added minutes to play. Didn't look like there was much in that, but it's been given.
Yeah, I mean, they've been really strong in these type of positions in the second half. Marshalled the Chelsea women well, but that one, yeah, I think England did go down to ground a little bit easily, but great opportunity again. We've spoken about the threat from set pieces both teams have supplied tonight.
Maybe speaking too soon, but I think G would be the best choice here. Probably the coolest, one of the more experienced heads in the Chelsea lineup. Plenty forward for it. And of course, having said that, G has atypically put it straight at the goalkeeper. And by her standards, that is absolutely shocking. What an opportunity wasted.
Yeah, big shame. Just kind of clipped it, didn't she? Didn't get any bend on the ball. Really poor direction, straight into the arms of the keeper.
Zola trying to go on the outside of Jess Carter. Good luck with that. 2 minutes of stoppage time for Chelsea to level the tie once more. Glass still coming forward. What an impact she's had on this game. 90 seconds or so for Chelsea. Weren't behind for long in the first half. Haven't been able to really knock on that Bayern door. I think it's been a very impressive defensive performance. Veninger has taken over the armband. A long-serving player from another. To the final minute, his boy. Keeps it moving for Glass. Only Schuller in the middle, and Glass, perhaps sensibly, just keeping it. Chelsea crowd her out. It's going to have to go very accurately, very quickly forward. Kirby. Niamh Charles. Leupolz making a run. So Kerr making the run. G doing the closing down. They are nearly there, or should I say they're nearly halfway there, Bayern. It's got to go in from Carter. That's the right thing to do, to just help it forward like that. Neve Charles. 5 minutes played. There has been a substitution in that time, but there's the whistle. It's the rarest of things for Chelsea, a defeat. Half-time in this Champions League semi-final tie, and Bayern lead it. Twice they've led in this game. The second time around, Jens Scheuer's team held on. For once, Chelsea chances kept to a minimum, and really only a wonderful long-range effort from G that hit the crossbar. Their only real threat once they had gone 2-1 down. Glass made one and scored the winner this evening, at least. Bayern's defence was generally excellent, and the advantage is theirs going into next week's second leg. Quick look at the main moments again, then. The opening goal, Sam, was all about the quality of the cross from Hannah Glass.
Yeah, really good delivery. I haven't seen it a few times now. I think Anderson probably could have come a little bit closer and tried to stop that cross, but great delivery. Berger will be disappointed, obviously, in her part of the goal. But let's credit the finish. And able to force it over the line, and a good stroke of luck as well for Chelsea. Responded really quickly. Post gets her goal against her former club. A bit sheepish in her celebration, but at that stage I thought the 1-1 was definitely fair. Not a lot between the teams in the first half, and yeah, Chelsea getting a nice stroke of fortune to get the goal.
This was a real bolt from the blue.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant strike, yeah, you have to say. The right back, the right wing back, and a real say in the outcome of this game. Berger just can't get that left arm up in time to claw it aside. It goes right in the near post. I think you credit the strike on that occasion.
This is the effort from G, so beautifully struck.
Lovely sound as well, wasn't it? What a strike from G. Probably the best Chelsea mustered, really, after going 2-1 behind. You have to say they showed how resilient they are in defence, and that's going to be what they're going to overcome next week in London.
Well, it's too close to call at kick-off. It's still tight now. A reminder to join the Matchday Live team on the 5th stand ahead of the Men's Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid from 10 to 7 on Tuesday evening. Second leg, earlier kick-off next Sunday. 12:25 is the appointment time as Chelsea try and overturn this first leg deficit and reach the Champions League final for the first time. So the Blues have an away goal, but they also have a 1-goal deficit to overcome. Bayern are also after their first final appearance. They have the slim lead, but it's tight. From Sam Parkin and I, it's goodbye.